having cheap wonton mee at this other coffee shop in Bukit Timah. Hello, good morning. Okay, good morning, or rather late morning, nearly lunchtime, it's almost 12, it's about 11:30. Hi, you're watching Great Speed Eats, and I'm here in Jalan Besar to talk about what is probably the most popular pig organ soup in Singapore. Cheng pig organ soup. Now, if you know the history of my channel, right, this is actually the first time that I'm actually featuring the Teochew dish of pig organ soup, or as they call it in Chinese, te huang kiam cai. Pig innards and salted mustard leaf soup. The reason is because I feel that the dish these days is a pale shadow of what it used to be in the past. So anyway, because of this, I've been KIVing the dish in the hope that maybe a new stall will bring the dish back to its former glory. But over the years, the more and more I learn about the dish and the hawker trade in general, the more I've come to accept that it will never ever be the same as it used to before. I'll explain why later throughout the vlog. So with all that in mind, I've come to the conclusion that this eatery, Cheng is very likely one of the best pig organ soup that you can get in Singapore, but it's one of the best with many caveats. So this stall started in the late 1980s in a coffee shop along Jalan Besar before shifting to 298 Jalan Besar, then to their current location of 20 Foch Road some 20 years ago. So come, let's have a taste. Hello， 大碗放那个 kidney 还有那个 chestnut， 还有一个猪脚，没有了，
两个饭啊？
不是没有饭，
不要饭啊？
不要饭。
在哪里啊？
汉字号。
好，谢谢。
Okay, I place my order and they'll serve the food to your table lah. So just have to wait.
一个大汤，一个猪脚，没有饭。
对。So I have here my order of pig organ soup plus the other popular dish, the vinegar pork trotter, which is $6.70. The pig organ soup has two prices, $5 and $7. I ordered the large version, which is $7 lah. If you don't specify, they'll give you the tamed down version of what pig's organ soup is supposed to be lah, which is basically a variety of meat parts like pork balls, sliced meat, fatty pork belly, and tofu, and only the popular pig organs inside, the stomach and the liver. But if you look right at the bottom of the menu, they have other pig organ parts lah, like kidney and small intestines available. So if you want the full experience, you just have to tell the lady at the counter that you want them and they will add it in. But they won't give you so many meat items as a result lah. So first, trying the soup. Okay. Now the soup is very good. Okay, very big and robust flavor, and you can taste the saltiness and sourness of the kiam cai, the salted veg, salted mustard leaves. Plus, there's the underlying pork stock flavor and a bit of fat flavor. You do see a little bit of oil notes, not much. But that said, older foodies will remember that the taste used to be more complex. Used to have a very noticeable earthy sweetness to the dish. And that's because when the hawkers made the soup back in the 1990s and before, they would boil up bones, meat, innards, and the most important ingredient, pig's blood. Pig's blood is the vital ingredient that gives pig organ soup that earthy sweetness and punch. Unfortunately, pig's blood is now banned in Singapore. The then Agri-Food and Veterinary Authority, AVA, banned pig's blood during the Nipah virus outbreak in 1999, swine flu. The reason? Because blood was a potential source and mode of transmission for viruses and other food-borne pathogens. That said, pig's blood is still very popular across many other Asian countries. So anytime you want to try pig's blood cake or pig's organ soup with pig's blood, just head over to Malaysia, Thailand or Taiwan where they have their own versions of pig organ soup and you can have your fill. But unfortunately, you just won't get it in Singapore. The banning of pig's blood also explains why the dish has tofu. Oh. Now, tofu in pig's organ soup, right, is totally wrong lah. And in my opinion, it shouldn't be an ingredient in pig's organ soup at all. But that said, the tofu here is actually very fresh and very nice, and it's got a nice texture that's not too firm and not too soft. But the addition of tofu is also very understandable. Pig's organ soup used to always have pig's blood curd in it, which is solidified pig's blood with a little salt added. What happens is that hawkers leave the blood in a bowl to congeal, then it's cut into cubes, then heated up with some salt to solidify the blood cubes further. But after Singapore banned pig's blood in 1999, the store substituted tofu instead. But frankly and very honestly, I would prefer that they just omit the tofu and give other pork items instead. Next, the pig stomach. It's cut up into big chunky pieces and the texture is wonderfully spot on lah, with enough tender softness and a bit of firmness to it. Very nice. Next, the liver. Okay, the liver, soft and creamy, depending on the day. Usually it's soft and creamy. You know, it's not raw or lightly blanched. It's also not overcooked and hard, so that's good. But again, it depends on how long you leave it in the soup lah, as usual. Next, the sliced pork. Sliced pork is chewy with just a little bit of tenderness, and it's got not much fat on it, but they slice it thin so it's manageable lah. I always add a bit of chilli sauce on it to boost the flavour because it can be a bit lacking in flavour lah. So talking about the chilli sauce, right. It's got a rounded savoury punch, no sour notes and a gentle spiciness, or rather maybe a medium spiciness, depending on how much you put on it. It gives the dish kind of like a very different but yet complementary flavour profile. Next, the pork balls. These pork balls are great. Now, these are quite the highlight. Pork balls which are seasoned with a bit of tipo, dried saltfish. It looks handmade, very nice and very meaty. I'm not too sure if they mix a bit of fish inside. If anything, some fat would be nice to add more richness and softness to the meatball. But this is still very nice. Next, the fatty pork. Oh. Today is cooked a bit softer. Blanched pork belly pieces without the skin. It's thick cut and the texture is a nice compromise between firm and a bit of softness. Normally it is firmer than this. Today it is a bit softer. Next, the kidney. Kidney is nice and bouncy and not too firm. Seems very, very fresh. Next, the intestines. Now these are the small intestines and it has a soft chewiness and it seems quite clean, no foul smell. Other pig organ soup stalls will use the big intestines instead, but those apparently are harder to clean and to prepare. Personally, I prefer the big intestines because they tend to be fattier. Okay, next, there are 2 jiao chu, vinegar pork trotters. The pork trotter is cut up and they give you 1 egg with it. First tasting the gravy. Okay, the flavour is a nice balanced mix of slightly sharp tanginess and gentle sweetness and a hint of saltiness in the gravy and a bit of fat richness. Now, many places will have their own rendition of 猪脚醋 lah. Some will make it sweeter, some will make it more sour. But what is very often forgotten is the savory aspect lah. This one has a noticeable amount of it, which is good. However, what is missing is perhaps a little more ginger flavor lah. I like a stronger ginger flavor than what is present here. I mean, the gravy is nice and balanced, but I do wish that it was a little maybe richer. Maybe more of everything would be nicer. It feels as though it needs to sit overnight for the flavors to concentrate a bit lah. Just a little bit more. Now for the meat and fat. Okay, soft skin and generally firm, maybe soft meat. But let's try the meatier bit, okay? Which is this one over here lah. The meatier bits tend to be too firm usually. No. Sometimes the meat can be a little too firm for my likes, and today is no different lah, Just a little bit softer will be perfect. But the fat, very soft and melting, very nice. Okay, one thing about the egg is that you get a boiled egg included in every order. So if you order the black vinegar egg on the side, you'll get 2 eggs instead of 1. So bear that in mind lah. Boiled egg. Okay, finished. But one small note is that you can get free soup refills when you dine in. So this is what you do. Just place your empty bowl at the window near the kitchen and they'll top it up automatically. So, yeah. And this is the soup. And the soup is piping hot lah. A little bit more robust in flavor, a little bit more of that sour kiam cai flavor, not diluted at all. Very nice. So I'm back day 2 at Cheng because one of the reasons why I consider this eatery as one of the best places to actually go to for pig organ soup is actually because of their side dishes. They have quite a few side dishes which are actually pretty well done. So because of that, right, you can actually have a proper meal when you come here. So what I have here is their Hua Tiao Ji Chinese wine chicken with ginger, then their steamed pork dishes with and without salted fish, and also an order of their Zhai stir-fried cabbage and their braised peanuts. So firstly, their Hua Tiao Ji, which is this one over here. Oi. Okay, the meat can be a little bit dry, but it's very deeply marinated right down to the meat inside, and it's got a reasonable amount of ginger flavor, but the Hua Tiao wine flavor is almost non-existent But that's usual when it comes to commercial outfits. If you want a stronger wine flavor, ask your mother, grandmother or auntie to cook it for you But aside from that, it's a very nice deep savoury soy flavour that's quite decently oil rich so nice. And it's a pretty decent amount of chicken for only $3. But a big caveat here is this. The general quality of their Hua Tiao Ji can be pretty inconsistent. Sometimes it is seriously good, but sometimes it is quite average and a bit diluted. And don't know why, but I suspect maybe they prepare it batch by batch. And if you order it at the beginning of when they actually make the batch, right, it hasn't had enough time to marinate, I don't know. Whatever the case, order it at your own risk Next, the steamed minced pork, which are always very consistently done here. The steamed minced meat with chestnut and the steamed minced meat with chestnut and salted fish. It would be easy to assume that these two steamed pork dishes are the same. It's just that one has salted fish and the one doesn't. But you would actually be wrong. Each dish has its own merit So first, tasting the steamed minced meat with chestnut, which is this one here. Uh-huh. Wow, now this is amazing. It's like the softest minced meat ever, and I think it's because of the high amount of fat content in the minced pork that keeps the texture soft. The chestnut refers to the slivers of water chestnut inside. See whether I can get one. Here we go, found one. This one is the water chestnut. Oh, actually, got some crunch, but not that much. It's actually quite softened. So there are some peanuts and coriander on top. Trying some of the peanuts and coriander. Okay. Oh. And you can definitely feel the textural difference as you bite into the steamed pork. Because you get, aside from the water chestnut, you get the chopped coriander, you know. The stewed peanuts give it a very subtle nutty sweetness, and the coriander gives the dish a very well-placed herb taste to it. So the side dish is very simple, it's very clean tasting, and it's got very organized flavors where you can taste everything. Plus there's a big pork flavor in the dish. Now as for the texture, right, some will like this texture but some won't. I know people who find this texture too soft, so bear that in mind. But as for me, I love it. Next, the steamed mincemeat with chestnut and salted fish, which is this one here. Look at this, very nicely pink inside. Oh. This is like amazing. Oh my god. Okay, it obviously ups the savouriness of the dish by quite a bit with the salted fish. And it gives it a very complex and power-packed savoury punch. And it almost overwhelms the pork flavour, but it's damn nice. It's got a big savoury flavour, fat-rich, and it's bold. This will go well with a little bit of rice to tame the flavour a bit. Next, the Zhai, the stir-fried cabbage. So this is a stir-fried dish with cabbage, carrots, tanghoon, black fungus, and pork tofu puffs. So trying a bit. Oh, and it's got some sliced mushrooms as well. Not bad. And it's very nice, it's very oil-rich with a rich savoury gravy, and it's very well stir-fried with a slight veg sweetness. I mean, most Zhai that I come across is very plain, but this isn't, which is why I found it very unusual. Again, this would be good with rice. Okay, next, the steamed peanuts. Very nice. You know, well, steamed peanuts are steamed peanuts, nice and soft. Just the right amount of sweet and soy sauce flavorings. Nice. Okay, finished. So that was a look at Cheng Ghee pig organ soup. And note that there is another business with a similar sounding name, Authentic Ghee King of Pig Organ Soup, which is located along the main road of Jalan Besar, but according to the owners here, they are different businesses and are not related to them. Plus, it doesn't taste the same anyway, to me at least. But as for this outlet, would I travel half across Singapore to eat here? I would say yes, but with big caveats. Over here, you can get a great pig organ soup with quite a wide range of pig innards. Plus, the sides are pretty good as well. So this is a good place where you can sit down and have a nice proper meal, instead of coming here all the way for just one dish. As for the current quality of pig organ soup in Singapore in general, well, the soup is what it is. A pale imitation of what a great dish used to be, but it is still nice for what it is. Old-time foodies just have to accept that the old taste of Te Huang Kiam Cai is never going to come back, unless the government changes its ruling one day to allow pig's blood. But even if they allow pig's blood one day, the taste still won't be the same, because proper Te Huang Kiam Cai is also supposed to include the white mugwort herb, and most hawkers have long since omitted that for many decades already. It has a sage-like smell and a very slightly bitter vegetable taste to it. But according to people who have eaten Te Huang Kiam Cai with a white mugwort, they say that it adds a wonderful fourth dimension to the overall flavour of the soup. So what you have is that you have this wide spectrum of tastes: salty, sweet, sour and bitter. And that's what made the dish so amazing last time. My other complaint is that while Cheng does a wide range of pig innards, and you can have that proper pig organ experience, it will be an easy addition to add a few more in, like pig skin. I mean, it would be nice if they can add the whole range in lah. That would be great. Decades ago, they would put in lean and fatty meat, liver, stomach, tongue, lungs, heart, kidney, skin, large intestines, and pig's blood curd. So you can understand why older foodies say that the Te Huang Kiam Sai of today is really a pale imitation of what it used to be in the past. But again, as I've said, older foodies just have to accept that times have changed. For the worse, but that's how it is. But still, yes, I would travel here to eat this, even if it is a pale imitation of the dish. Why? Because it still tastes pretty good. But it is a very different dish lah. And it is a nice meal, and it serves as a good introduction to pig's organ soup for my kids who have yet to acquire a taste for organ meats. Now I'm just waiting for a hawker who is bold enough to serve the full range of pork innards. But I'm pretty sure that is quite unlikely to happen lah. But once that happens, I'll be there in an instant. So thanks for watching another episode of Great Speed Eats, where I eat through the whole of Singapore. If you like this episode, give it a like, comment and subscribe below, and turn on the notifications bell, and I'll see you in the next one for more eating. Bye-bye.